So I reiterate here, the bill is dead.
The story of this great city is about the years before this night. We are free!
Hey everyone, this is Ho Ho Hong Kong with me, your maybe maybe not host Vivek Mohbani, along with the other maybe not host
Mohammed Magdi.
Hey,
I'm a host.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a host and I'm the co-host.
I'm a host. No,
It's like
I'm a host.
you're on the plane, you have the pilot and the co-pilot.
Yeah.
The pilot's the one that's actually flying the plane. The co-pilot is there kind of like, oh, that's not a good idea.
But the co-pilot can also argue that he is a pilot because he has pilot in the word.
Yeah, and he
right?
has the power to pilot.
Yeah.
But he's not piloting. It's kind of like the understudy for like plays when you have someone in the back who's just like waiting for you to trip over and like, oh,
Yeah.
you can go in and take over because
Yeah.
this guy can't do it. It's like, oh, I'm sorry to hear.
It's like the WWE, the guy who's like standing on the line the whole time. like, just
Exactly.
waiting
Come
to
on, tap me, man,
Yeah.
tap me. Yeah. Yeah, you have it just
What
as
do you
important.
what do you say like when you're a pilot? Do you drive the plane? Like what is the word?
Fly the plane.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you fly
Yeah,
the plane.
okay.
Yeah, I think
sorry.
that's what it is. Yeah. It's one of those.
We're calling
Yeah.
also basically at midnight tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Super
you might
late
hear
today.
a lot of dumb questions. from me,
Yeah. This is us
particularly.
on like already. Normally we're on minimum brain power.
Yeah.
and this is us on like lower.
the
lower end of our minimum brain power.
Yeah, like
Right.
your phone does like emergency, like my phone does like below 5%.
Yeah, it's like,
shut
dude,
off everything.
yeah.
Just use it for emergency.
Yeah, optimizes everything. In our
Yeah.
case, it doesn't optimize anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's just like free for all. It's like whatever comes is gonna happen.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I mean, yeah, it's like I don't know about you, but like my brain for a long time now has had this like crazy ADD where it's like a swing of like topics, like whatever is like the topic right now
Yeah.
is what I'm focusing on, but that can also go any second.
Yeah.
And we're on the next thing.
Or
and
whatever
that-
distracts you. You mean
Whatever distracts
whatever shiny
me.
object kind of
yeah,
thing.
but it also feels like it's literally like feels like almost like a swing of sorts, like a
Are you
Ferris
saying when
wheel.
you're alone and like
Yeah.
I think that's common because like I probably people being self-employed, number one.
Yeah.
And number two is that we have so many things happening at the same time.
Yeah.
That your brain's like, all right, that's happening. Let's go here. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's like overcook the game.
Yeah.
Where you're like you're sizzling the hamburger, but you're like
Yeah.
trying to clean the plates as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's terrible, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like if you read a lot of those mindfulness books and everything, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's actually very bad. Because you're trying to do too much, you end up doing nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely one of those issues you have to like kind of train the brain. The brain is like an elephant with a chain on it. What you're trying to do is let the elephant be an elephant, but don't let it run wild.
What is it? Some hairs or some bullshit?
Yeah, this is like a lot of like those books about like say meditation and everything.
Right.
They'll
I love how you actually set a proper code.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, that actually does make
I've
sense.
actually read a whole bunch of books about this, dude. Like, seriously, I've gotten it. Like, you know me.
Yeah.
Like, when I get into this, I'm like, I have to read 20 books about the same thing.
Right, yeah.
It's like the same, and it's always the same kind of concept. Like, the brain can be trained to be able to think one thought deeply, or you can choose to let the thoughts control you.
Yeah,
With-
the thoughts control me all the
exactly,
time.
Yeah, it is through deep breathing by simply focusing on the breath.
Yeah.
You will notice that you are able to control the brain and say no. It's one of those.
What?
Yeah. You will
Say
not think that thought.
No, brain.
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
Don't think about boobs right now.
But that's the thing. Like, the meditation guys have to always be very calm. They can't be like, no, brain. They have to be like, no, brain. You
Okay.
will not think that thought.
Yeah.
You will stay and think on this thought.
Yeah.
Now continue thinking. And if you find yourself thinking that thought, simply bring your brain back to this thought. And you're like confused, like, hold on, which thought is this? Which
Yeah.
thought is that?
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, do I have to pause and
Why,
rewind
okay,
it?
here's me listening to that book.
Yeah.
While they're saying that, I'm already moved on.
Yeah, because
completely.
it's so easy that your
Yeah.
brain's like, dude, I can do way more capacity than
Exactly.
just listening to this book
Exactly,
right now.
yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
that's the issue.
Yeah.
Like, you automatically jump to multitasking, like, dude, I could so read that email while this
Yeah.
guy's going like, no, you will feel the energy. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, energy, got it.
Yeah.
Because like when you're so used to a Hong Kong
You're just
lifestyle-
catching like key points.
Exactly, yeah. Feel energy, got what you mean.
Right.
All that whole like, now feel the immense power of the energy. I'm like, dude, you just said two things. Feel energy. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, get to the point, man.
And the other thing is like now, like especially with like stuff on social media, like we don't have TikTok, but I was on WeChat the other day. Think people use in mainland China,
Yeah.
and they basically have like a TikTok kind of feature.
Okay.
And I for the first time ever, I actually discovered because I'm not really on WeChat anymore, and I discovered it for the first time, and I now understand how crazy addictive TikTok is.
Right.
Luckily, I tapped out immediately because the quality was so bad of the stuff. Like, no offense, like stuff people enjoy in mainland China is maybe stuff that I don't enjoy.
Yeah, different tastes.
Also, there is like I speak Mandarin, but not like great Mandarin to
Right.
understand a lot of that. But point being, like, I'm like, oh, if this content is stuff that I can relate to, I am done.
Yeah, you're at that level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that, like, I actually time myself. If the little video does not catch me in the first 2 seconds, I'm out.
Yeah. So this
It's
is another
crazy how fast I move. Like, and I also had this thought. I'm like, oh shit, like this is a video I might never ever see again.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah. But then you have to. I mean, let's be honest. You will never be able to see all the videos, right?
Yeah.
And there's a choice. You're like, I could waste my time watching this video that hasn't captured my attention
Yeah.
yet, or go for the next one, which might.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Jerry Seinfeld bit about like channel surfing. It's like that show's not getting my attention. I'm going to keep surfing the channels.
Right,
You're going
right.
to come back. Maybe by now it might have got my attention. Still nothing. You're going to go back in the loop, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like it. So there's a lot of scientific studies about why it's so addictive, and this I actually have done research. It's basically the dopamine effect, where the fact that it's like a new object every time. Every time you scroll and it's unlimited, you're like,
Yeah.
what's the new thing? What's the new thing? And it can hook you, man.
Yeah.
Because every new thing excites your brain, like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, right? And it's like, it's bad.
It's very bad.
Because like you're like, I'm gonna. So what I do sometimes, and look, I've actually come to the point in my life where during the daytime, I literally barely social media.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't,
I
right?
mean, you can do it for like work and like post
little-
about
yeah.
a show or whatever. But
Exactly.
you,
Yeah.
I
I'm not a
know
social
you
media
like,
guy, and
enough
also
to-
yeah, exactly. And also
Yeah.
number two, like oddly enough, so this is what I do, right? I literally only look at the alerts that I get on my page, as in people commenting and stuff, and I'll go to that post, reply the comment, and that's it.
Right,
Like
yeah.
I've gone past that need to like, oh, see, well, let me go to the whole homepage and see everything. However, when I'm gonna sleep. Before sleeping, dude, that is my time.
Yeah.
Because willpower is at like negative by that
Right,
time.
yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I just want to see something stupid, right?
Yeah.
And I'm scrolling. And I do these stupid things where I'm like, okay, I'm going to scroll 10 more strokes with my finger. And then I'm going to stop after that.
yeah, I
right?
do the same
right?
thing.
And
Yeah.
what I do is I purposely try to scroll extra hard. So it flings a few more posts. You get it? So
Yeah.
while it's decelerating, I'm like, don't touch it yet.
Yeah.
It's still moving, man. Let it go all the way
Yeah.
till it stops. Then you fling it again.
Yeah.
So literally what I'm trying to do is I'm flinging it. So normally you see like, one or two posts and then you see the next one, right? This one I'm flinging, you get like 4 or 5 posts.
Yeah.
But the first two are like so fast. I'm like, what was that?
Yeah.
And then what happens is, let's say I see something interesting. And what I do is I'm like, well, technically I'm only allowed 10 scrolls downwards.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to go back up. So I'm
Nice.
actually going back up, looking at the first two,
Yeah.
getting that for free, and looking at the next two, going like, that's shit. Let me scroll again. So I'm literally like flicking my wrist all night.
Yeah.
Trying to go through these posts and go like, that's one more. Come on, we can do this. Come on, such stupid stuff I
Yeah.
gotta do. And then the 10 will happen. And then I'll be looking at the post, and I'll be like, look, it's not fair because I did all 10. Not even one of them got my attention.
Yeah.
So this feels like,
Yeah, this is- yeah,
this
exactly.
wasn't right. I didn't get my satisfaction from this one. So I'm going to allow myself 10 more or till the next one. And I'm like,
Yes.
this is interesting.
Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy that you're saying that, and I'm relating to it 100%.
Exactly.
And I'm sure our listeners,
Everyone
might relate.
does this.
Yeah.
Stupid
That-
stuff like this, right?
How did we even come up with that? That's crazy.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
like a reward system, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's a reward system, but like what you do, you're trying to cheat your own system,
Yeah.
where you're like making rules, but
Yeah.
you're bending your own rules.
Yeah.
And because you're the police, you're like, well, technically, In other words, we all became bankers.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We're a bunch of bankers making our own rules,
Yeah.
saying, okay, we don't do this. We got the compliance to make sure we don't cheat. But actually, even compliance is doing this as well, So yeah, I think that's what we all do at night. And every single time we're gonna look. And okay, so this is not my other strategies, right? I'm in bed. Let's say it's 12:15 a.m. And I'm scrolling stuff. Right?
Like now.
Let's say like that exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say this moment exact,
Yeah.
right? And I'm scrolling stuff.
Oh, we're also recording in bed.
Yeah, exactly. hey, everybody, don't scroll past this
Yeah.
podcast. Right. So I'll be scrolling, and like let's say I do like my 10 flicks and everything, and I saw 1 or 2 good posts, and I'm like reading that shit, whatever. Okay. And I look at the clock, I'm like 12:18. I'm like, I need a round number, man. I can't do 18. I need like 12:20.
Yeah.
Right? So 12:19, I'm like free for all for 2 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. Then you're flicking at it, you're getting through the post and everything. Like 2 minutes, nothing good comes up. And you're like, dude,
I
screwed
need
it.
something to close on.
Yeah, I need a closer,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I can't just end on this like random flick,
Yeah.
right? So then 12:21 happens, and I'm like, oh man, you know what? I tell you what. I give myself 4 more minutes.
Yeah.
I've got it. Statistically, I've got to
Yeah.
get 1 good post, right? So I'm there scrolling.
It also tells like you the quality of social, like the posts that you're seeing.
Yeah,
It's terrible as well.
It's terrible, dude.
Yeah.
Again, like every night when I'm scrolling through this stuff, I'm just like, man, I am quote unquote friends with these people.
Yeah.
This is the sad shame of my
Yeah.
life, Or I become a bit too proud. I'm like, ugh, I don't
Yeah.
look at this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll do a bit of that. And then literally what happened is at like 12:25, 12:30, 12:35, I'm like, dude, man,
Yeah.
And then you start with the whole like, well, I'm not going to get my 8 hours sleep anyway. Right?
I love that little like conversation like with yourself.
Dude,
like,
I have so much of that at night because on one hand, I'm like disciplining myself because I'm like, dude, remember the time yesterday
Yeah.
when you slept late and you regretted this morning? Remember that? So when I wake up in the morning and I'm actually like, oh, I'm so tired, man. I shouldn't have stayed up.
Yeah.
I try to take a moment to memorize that feeling.
yeah.
But
to,
then by-
like to remember it
yeah,
at night.
exactly. You know, what I mean? To
That
discipline
never
myself.
happens.
It never happens.
I mean,
man.
this is the same thing like people who like drink and like it's basically hangover feeling.
Yeah.
And you're like, I will never ever touch alcohol ever again.
Exactly, yeah.
This is the worst I felt in my life.
Correct.
And then like cut to like
3
you at
days
10
later.
p.m. No, the same night.
Same night.
It's like, woo, dancing on
dude.
the table.
Exactly. It's like-
Shots.
It's like basically me with ice cream as well.
Yeah,
Like
there
every
you
time
go.
I finish a whole tub, I'm like, dude, I shouldn't have had done that tub. This is not
Yeah.
right. So yesterday I come back from my gig. I did like this charity gig, which was awesome because what
Yeah,
they did
so
is like,
you are now a superhero apparently.
yeah, I'm a superhero. Yeah, so this
Yeah.
charity gig, it's called Zonta. It's basically like it's kind of like Rotary kind of deal,
Mm.
and they were trying to do a fundraiser, right? And they spoke to me. I was like, hey, I'd love to support this. For a really not a minimal fee. I'm happy to do a show. And they had such a good response. They did like they wanted to do 2 shows.
Mm.
So actually, we usually want to do in December. I ended up getting COVID that week, so they had to cancel.
Yeah.
Right, and then we moved it to this day, right?
Yeah.
And they got such a good response that they wanted to do 2 shows back to back, at 1 hour each show, right?
Nice.
I'm like, you know what, whatever. And they're like, what's the charges? I'm like, you know what, it's a charity. I'm
Yeah.
already charging for once. Like basically, this is just a small amount of money. I'm like, what's
Yeah.
the point?
Yeah.
You're raising money. It's all for a good cause. It's the same show. I get to practice. Whatever. It's win-win, right?
Cool.
So I go there.
And you're doing an hour.
I'm doing an hour each
Yeah.
show, right? And it's the same. Well, I want to do the same content, right?
Sure.
So we do like the 4:30 p.m. show, and before I get there, they already told me like, oh, we have some surprises for you. I show up, dude. They have a whole backdrop with like, you know what? I'm gonna make that a thumbnail.
Yes,
for this one.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can
So the
see,
people can see
Yeah, you can
actually,
see
yeah.
it's a backdrop with like me as a cartoon character, and it's like a Valentine's
It's
theme kind
awesome.
of thing.
It's
right?
really
pretty
cool. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then like we do the show, and people take photos and everything with the backdrop, and then they give in like goodie bags, right?
Yeah.
And they give me one, and I'm like, let me see what's that. There's a mouse pad with me
Yeah.
on the mouse pad as a superhero, and it
Yeah.
says the positivity of humor, Vivek
Yeah.
Malbani. I'm like, wow, this
And
is
you
crazy.
caught your essence really well. Like whoever did this is actually like someone who
The professional, yeah.
professional.
Yeah, caricature kind of design.
Yeah.
Like they got the longer face. They got the kind of like the forehead.
Yeah.
The ball patches and everything. I'm like, all right, you got it, man.
Yeah,
you
they
know
got
the
it.
key points. They got the sideburns as well. I'm like, all right.
Oh yeah, they
legit.
got everything.
Yeah.
And also like a fun like a cartoonish smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the little grin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all that stuff. So I mean, and then people are like, oh, can we have an autograph on the mouse pad? I was signing some of that for people.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right. And it was cool because like it's been a while since I've done like a 1 hour show. I was surprised because there were quite a lot of kids as well, and I was like, oh, because we're gonna do like a kids charity show at the end of this year in December, right? So I thought this show's gonna be more adults, but no, they brought kids. I'm like, I can do this. This is fun,
Yeah.
right? And then so I do that, and the funny thing is that for something, you had more of the VIPs. With all these, they only have the special guests. They've got like, let's say someone from Cartier came as well, that kind of deal where they
Sure.
sponsored like they bought like an expensive a seat, like for the front rows, $10,000 per seat,
Sure.
and they came, Cartier,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you could tell, dude, that show. The fact that someone came for a 4:30 p.m. show rather than like an 8:30 p.m. show, they're the type of people who are very calm,
Yeah.
they're moderate, they've seen it all.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm not gonna stay up late
Yeah.
to laugh. I will laugh when I
want to laugh,
when I
yeah.
want to laugh.
Yeah.
And you could tell like the whole vibe of the room. It was like one of those like, yes, laughing is good, but everything in moderation. I won't laugh loudly.
Yeah.
I will laugh a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And I'm doing the show. I'm getting the giggles and everything. It's all good. But I can feel there's a certain, holding back of like, I
Right.
cannot be seen laughing like this.
Sure.
Do you know who I am? Kind of a deal. So the show finishes. Everyone's happy. Then the 8:30 show starts happening.
Yeah.
And you see everybody's like, all right, these people came for a show, man.
Right.
Dude, they were like up for
Were people drinking?
no drinking,
Yeah.
yeah, because like it was in one of these the M21 theater in Shekpa One in Aberdeen side. It's like a jockey club kind of youth center, so they book like this cinema theater place, right?
Oh, cool.
That's pretty cool,
Yeah.
yeah. Right? So then no drinking allowed because like it's jockey club stuff, right?
Right.
Very conservative. But
Yeah.
people were in really good spirits. They came in, kids were there, everybody
Yeah.
else was people, and they were there. They were like. My first 5 minutes, they were like giving me applause breaks. I'm like, calm down, man.
Whoa, okay,
Like,
yeah.
I did the same bit,
Yeah.
literally 4 hours ago, and they were like, huh, good point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, I get that, and I always tell people whenever I do gigs when you have people of a higher social status, they watch the show like it's a problem that they can solve.
Right.
because
Yeah.
they actually could solve this.
Yes, yes.
With their
Yeah.
connections and
Yeah.
their funding, you know.
So you're talking, for example, about racial profiling or
Yeah.
something, and they are thinking like,
I
oh
should
yeah,
call my
that
friend
is
who's
kind
the
of
head
messed
of
up.
yeah. You know, oh, you know what? I should call Johnny, who's like head of the police department.
Yeah.
And maybe say, hey, you know what? Maybe work on some training. We get some
Right.
funding for this. Like their gears are turning.
Yes.
And I'm going like, so they call me Mohammed.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's very interesting. And actually, in fact, we should get some more inclusiveness. Right? We get some of that DEI training for our police.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh man, these guys are, you know, this is
Yeah.
not the point here. Yeah. So you have a lot of those. Of course, like the fun thing as well, comedy shows, charity shows, this is all for good cause and everything.
Yeah.
You do it, you feel good. They give you a whole bunch of goodies, and they gave me some flowers and everything, which is cool because I got.
So you apparently they have like 100 mouse pads.
They apparently have like 100 mouse pads with like positive humor, Vivek Mabani on it, and like this company, which is actually I believe like a scalp health company,
Yeah.
sponsored these mouse pads because they were one of the sponsors of the whole event.
Right.
And then like they were like, oh, we can give you a whole bunch. I'm like, this is gonna be weird. Like, you know,
Okay, here's an idea. Are we able to get them to you here?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, well, if that's the case, can we then have our listeners request mouse pads?
Sure. Yeah.
And then we can maybe
just
drop them
somehow-
off somewhere, or they can
like
pick
if they
them
come
up.
to pick them up or come to a show and there's like
Yeah,
come to an open
again.
mic, you know, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
They
Would
just come
you-
drop
would you
down,
like
yeah.
to do that?
Yeah, I can work it out. I mean, they
Okay.
printed it out. Why not?
Well,
right?
in that case, if you're listening and you want positivity of humor
Yeah.
mouse pad with Vivek Mabubani cartoon,
yeah.
let us know.
Yeah,
Hit Vivek
exactly.
up, hit me up, and we'll arrange it.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, it's printed. I highly doubt that they're gonna like sell
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly.
right?
I'm also
Yeah.
thinking about it from an environmental point of view.
Yeah, it's there already. And let's be
it's
very
there
honest.
already.
Like, even if you don't use it as a mouse pad, it'll just be funny to hold on to.
It would be funny, yeah.
Because, like, I can tell
And
you
you have a
now-
lot of fans, and we have listeners in the podcast
Exactly,
who
yeah.
I think might enjoy it. So
Yeah,
that's
and
just
you
an
would
idea.
have the version of me that still has hair on his head. I mean, like
It
that.
might be vintage in
Vintage,
2
yeah.
years.
They'd be like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
wow,
He has
that's-
hair?
Yeah, I can't believe you have that edition of the mouse pad." You know, you'll have that. So yeah, these are the fun things you get to do and the little perks every now and then when you
Yeah.
do charity gigs.
That is cool.
Yeah. So I mean, if the day comes when you find yourself getting mouse pads and everything with
Yeah.
yourself, you're like, hey,
yeah, exactly. I did something. Yeah,
I must
that
do
is
something
cool.
special. Yeah, so that I'm feeling pretty good this weekend. Tonight was a bit tough because like tonight's gig also was like pro bono thing, but it was for like because in 2018 I got this top outstanding young
Just
person
be
award.
careful with like you talking about you doing all this pro bono.
Oh yeah, I don't do it. I don't,
like gigs because now
Yeah.
people are listening. It's like, wait, he
Wait a
did two in
second.
a two in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
Last time he charged me $250,000.
Yeah, exactly. The hell?
What the hell?
I was a charity too. Charity starts at home. What's going on? You know? Yeah. No, it was this one, and it just got overrun super late and everything. And I
Yeah.
was supposed to be on. I was told that I'll be on like 7:38.
Yeah.
I get that they're like you're on at 8:55. I'm like, fine, I'll read my book, whatever. I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point of complaint, right?
Yeah.
9:30, I'm on. 9:40, I
damn
should
it.
say. Yeah, and I was like, guys, come
Yeah.
on, man. And I'm doing 5 minutes only.
Really?
5 minutes.
Oh my god.
Because it was actually like a musical concert.
Yeah.
And they have like different performances on music, so like 5 minutes
Yeah.
for each. And they were like, they asked me how long you're gonna do. I was like, I can do 5 if you want. I mean, like, it seems like everyone's doing 5. They're like, yeah, can you do 5? And they're like, can you please not go over 5? I was like, relax.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, dude, like, calm down, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I know you're overrunning, but you know, that singer over there was talking about like, hey, you like my dress? You know, I'm like, hey, hold on a second. You know, you can't be pushing me now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the other side. They didn't give me a
Well,
mouse pad though.
They did not give you a
No,
mouse
no, I
pad,
didn't
and
get
they
that.
give you money. Wait,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they kept you like,
Yeah.
they stole your time.
Exactly. The things I do because I'm supposedly a quote unquote outstanding young person.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, well.
I don't know about the young part. But
exactly, yeah.
Outstanding person.
Yeah, we'll give it that.
Well, I have a story for you that I have been sitting on for a few weeks just because
Oh.
we have had a few things happen. Obviously, the guests, and then there was other stories that took our attention. But this is a story that started like last year, and then it kind of bled into this year. And they're all about one thing, which is travel and visas, which is two things.
Yeah, of course. Clearly, Mohammed over here.
Yeah.
Please go to his shop and buy stuff from him. And when you tell him I want 2 of those,
Yeah, yeah.
he'll end up charging you for 1,
Yeah.
giving you 4,
Yeah.
and like right, giving you like a refund policy of like 5.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll give you 1 back for the 2 you want to give back. Wow, I'm kind of confused. All right, okay, yeah. So
Actually,
2
it's
issues.
it's about travel, passport, and visa. So
Got
like the related.
Yeah, the
topic.
triage. Yeah.
So last year I was trying to upgrade my passport. For people who don't know, I have an Egyptian passport, and the Egyptian consulate here is useless. So that's kind of like it's kind of like a very short version of the story. It's like I tried to renew my passport, but they're like, oh yeah, your ID is expired, like Egyptian ID. So I needed the Egyptian ID, which I now have to apply through them, and I got it back in about like 3 months. It was a complete nightmare. And then my passport had expired already at the time, and my Hong Kong residence has also expired.
Oh my God, dude, you are here for like
Yeah.
everything's wrong about you existing right now.
Exactly. So that took about more than 6 months to fix. All of these things happening at the same time. So eventually I got it fixed, and I was applying for a visa to go to my friend's wedding in Thailand. And that was another hellish story because Thailand rejected my visa, which is ridiculous because I was just going as a tourist. I was applying. For me to apply for a visa, I need to buy a ticket, the flight ticket.
Yeah, so the flow was that you have to apply the visa, but you have to have a ticket to show them that, hey, I want to go there.
Yeah, but
then you can't go there until you have
without
a visa. But you have to
exactly.
show them that you're going to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
That's
it.
right. And then that story ended with me being about 36 hours before the flight, and there's still no visa.
Oh.
And then me going to the consulate, which I'm not supposed to go to because all the application is online. I go into the consulate 2 or 3 times and basically harass them, and then put them on the spot about why they rejected my visa. And they admitted that it was an internal fuck up. And I'm like, okay, can I then get a refund? They're like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so what do I do? Can I apply again? They're like, yeah, you should apply again. Technically, you can get it,
But pay again.
but pay again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay, so as far as I know, you just stole my money.
Yeah.
And asked me to pay again and admitted that it's your fuck up. They're like, well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And they also kind of wanted me out of here, and they kind of low-key threatened me that if I keep like showing up, they will like blacklist me.
Oh.
So it was just like, it was a terrible situation. So that was towards the end of November. And then I eventually got the visa. Yeah, as I said, 36. I remember the flight being on a Thursday night or Thursday evening. I got the visa on Wednesday morning.
Damn.
It was super stressful. So that happened. But so the reason I'm giving all this background is that happened towards the end of the year. That wedding was like end of November. So ringing in the new year, I just wanted a win.
Yes.
Like I was feeling so low about this whole visa travel situation. And I went like, I had a fuck it moment. I don't remember exactly what triggered it, but I remember.
Do you remember where you were?
I think I was at home. I was just like at home, just feeling low about like, why can't like I just have this simple.
Yeah.
I think I don't exactly remember now that I'm telling it like in like more than a month later. I don't remember the exact trigger. It must have been, knowing myself, it must have been like I saw that like someone was traveling somewhere.
Yeah, it must have been. You're like, oh, they're having a good time. I'm like, man, I'm not asking for too much.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And so I decided to go for, like when you are playing a video game and you're like, kind of struggling with a thing or whatever, like struggling with a level, a challenge, and you just went like, okay, I'm just gonna skip to the final.
Yeah.
Like if there's like all the levels are open, you're like, you know what, fuck this. I'm just gonna skip to the final.
I just want to get this done, dude.
I want to get this done. So fuck all the levels. I'm just gonna get to the biggest beasts, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I'm like, the hardest visa I've ever wanted to apply for was the US visa. And I'm like, okay, I'm someone who got rejected from Thailand.
Yeah.
It's basically impossible for me to get a US visa. And I looked into it before. It's a crazy application of about like eight pages, but like you have to fill in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But also you have
Also
to...
because it's Egyptian passport. That's why it's such a headache, right? Yeah.
It's difficult for everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's also basically anyone who's going to the US, you have to go to the consulate.
But you say go as in like tourists go or like...
Yeah, tourists.
Oh, okay.
So it's the US visas rules are weird because some countries, like obviously the Middle East or India, it's quite difficult to get the visa. But when you get it, it's a very long visa. So
duration,
India get 10 years.
Oh.
Egypt get 5 years.
Nice.
It's quite a lot, which is why I wanted to apply for it. And you don't have an activation time. You can actually go after 4 years if you want. It's still
I
valid.
think I know why they do that. So
Because they don't fucking give it to anybody.
They don't give it to no
Yeah.
one. Yeah, nobody really wants it. Like, no,
Yeah.
you can come whenever, dude. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I think with the Indian and Egyptian kind of visa why it's such a long duration because they're like, look, let's be honest, we are super inefficient
Yeah.
in getting the job done.
Yes.
So we give them a long one. We technically got our job done for the next 5 years. We cover this one person.
Right.
So let's just do that.
Yeah.
With the US though, I think because they also have these things where they try to create jobs so people are employed.
Yeah.
So they're like, we can't give you a long visa because we need someone to keep processing visas.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
can't give you a simple thing like, hey, you want to come here? Cool.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, I need to ask 20 questions.
Yeah.
Tom over here is going to do the first 5. John over here is going to do the next 5, you
Yeah.
know? And that way they're like, hey, our employment rate is
Tom
really...
and John, very American names.
Exactly, yeah. Chad and Brad. So we go with that.
Yeah.
So that way they can keep their unemployment rate really low.
Yeah.
Because that way with the long visa form, they can be like, all right, we got 4 people employed for every application. We're covered, man. Yeah, okay.
That's kind of like going to a shopping mall in Hong Kong where
Yeah.
there's like one escalator has like 4 people
Telling
at
you
the
that it's an
time.
escalator. Yeah.
Someone down there, someone up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
It's
okay.
the dumbest, man. It's like when I go to Sogo as well, there's someone at the lift, and when the
Yeah.
lift door opens, all their job is kind of like making sure the door stays open while people walking in.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like,
Yeah, he just presses the button.
yeah, and you know the door doesn't close when it hits someone, and it'll open back
also
up.
like people can't manage an elevator on their own.
They should.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be very honest. Like at this point in your life, with this level of technology, it's kind of like saying, "Oh, I've never heard of the internet." It's like, dude, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean,
can't
I
do
get
that.
it if it's like, if it's like a space shuttle that was just like introduced and people like the people who made the space shuttle know that people are gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it makes sense. Everyone is like telling you
Exactly.
where to sit. And
Correct.
Yeah, you know, the right
Yeah.
thing. This
So
is
this
an
one's
elevator.
like-
We've had this for like 100 years.
And let's be honest, like literally, it's A or B option. It's up or down. I mean, even if you mess it up,
Options.
let's say you wanted to go up and you
Yeah.
press down,
Yeah.
and you get in the lift.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario,
You
you
would
go
go
down
down.
first, and then after
And
that,
you go back to the same
Yeah.
ground floor.
and
you're
you've
like,
learned a philosophical lesson of life.
Yeah,
What
the-
goes down will go back up. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
And for you to go up, you have to go down first.
Correct, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and that way, the people who needed to go down first
Yeah.
to go back up, they needed that lesson.
Yeah.
That means you didn't understand this concept, and that you're that type of person.
Right.
All right. Okay. So coming back
yeah.
to this thing, guys, the unnecessary jobs.
Yeah, right. Unnecessary jobs. US visa application. So I went online. I'm like, okay, you know what? So first of all, you have to like create 2 profiles on 2 separate systems of the US visa. One is like the profile on the embassy or consulate where you are, which in my case in Hong Kong. And one is like the DS-160, which is the main US visa application. And that's on like the internal, like the US government website.
Yeah.
So I did that, like you fill in information here and then you fill in pretty much the same information there. Then you get on the application. And the application is rigorous. It's a lot of information, a lot of
They want to know everything about you, right?
documents
Why you're
to
here.
be uploaded and stuff
What
like
have you
that.
been working? Where's your income coming from? and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
However, they also don't really ask for like they keep everything intentionally vague.
Okay.
Meaning that like they go like, do you intend to come to the US like in the near future or whatever? Like
Yeah.
they don't ask like, do you have a specific date? And I'm like, okay, like it says like if there is a date you can put it, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
So, and I understood, like, I went on forums, especially from like the Middle Eastern people and from Egypt, and their whole philosophy getting you to give like answers is that they basically want to catch you lying.
Yeah. So they keep asking you all this stuff.
Exactly. So if I put, for example, that I want to go in June, they're going to ask you that in an interview to see if you give the same answer or not. And if you don't give the same answer, you're out.
That's weird. So like when you're filling out the form, technically they're asking when do you intend on coming,
Yes.
and you say June.
Yes.
And let's say when you go for
but
the
it also
interview-
says that you don't have to, like, you
Yeah.
can just put an estimate.
estimate, yeah.
Right.
So, and let's say something the plans change, and you're going to July now.
Yeah.
They interview you, and then like looking at you like, have you done the interview already?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll get to that.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I please tell me it's one of those interrogation rooms.
Yeah, well,
with the
yeah.
spotlight and everything.
It's very interesting actually.
Nice. Okay, go on, go on.
So I fill in the application and eventually, I get to the end of it, and it says after that like you can book an appointment, and I'm filling it on like, I remember it like being 2nd or 3rd of January. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, okay, it's going to be crazy. I'm going to get an appointment in like 9 months, which is fine. I have no plans to go to the US anytime soon. And I go onto the booking appointment. The appointment's the next day. And I'm like,
That's
what?
pretty fast, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy fast. Like
There's
there's some
nobody
slots
applying?
open.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like there's a lot of slots that are closed off.
Oh, so they have one or
But
two
there
slots.
are, yeah, there
So
is one that is
trying to
like
fill
the
you
next-
in, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what I understood later is that people cancel all the time or change, and
Yeah.
sometimes they pop up. And again, like I'm like, well, okay, fuck it. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go.
Okay, yeah. See what happens. Yeah.
Just see what happens.
Yeah.
I also understood that unless you're rejected for security reasons, you can actually reapply right after.
Oh.
But we'll also get to that.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm already doing this for like kind of like just to get a win, and I already know myself. Like I know if I get it, I'll be super happy. I'm like, finally, I got a win.
Yeah.
When it comes to this stuff, but also if I don't get it, I'll be like, I fucking knew it.
Yeah.
And I'll be even more upset.
Reinforce it even more. You're like,
Exactly.
yeah, you-
But I'm like, yeah. So just like. It's like whatever. Like there's a gambling term there that I don't know.
It's one of those. I'm not
Like
sure.
all in or something.
Yeah, yeah,
like that.
all,
I'm
yeah,
not a
yeah,
gambling
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
clearly. So I go to the next day, and the American consulate here is in next to the. It's in Admiralty,
Near the peak tram.
near the peak tram.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly
on
near
the
the
slope.
peak tram.
Yeah.
And they send you an email with all the stuff like the
How to get there.
precautions and stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you're not supposed to bring any bags there at all.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember
And-
I had to go there once, and they were like, "Don't do this. Don't, like, just come as simple as possible."
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they also say they don't have lockers. So
So if anything, you just have to leave your bag there, and they're not responsible. One of those, right?
well, no, because it's the U.S. They're not gonna let you just have a bag there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can't have a bag there.
Oh my god.
So, but my appointment is at 8:45 a.m. I booked the first appointment, and I
shit.
think this is why people cancel it. It's like too early. But I'm going to work, and a lot of people are going to work. So I'm like, okay, I have my laptop with me. I didn't know what to do, so I just showed up anyway. I'm like, I'm sure there are other employees.
Yeah, this must be a common
There
thing.
must be some sort of arrangement. Security guy checks my appointment, and he goes, yeah, there's a flower shop across the street. That's where you leave your bag. I'm like, so do they have lockers? He goes, nope. I'm like, so why the flower shop? Is like, I don't know.
yeah, just became a thing. They
became a
probably
thing.
realized they're like, for $10, I'll keep your bag. You know.
It's actually really cute. So if you ever apply for the U.S. visa from Hong Kong, so the flower shop is run by an old couple
Yeah.
who obviously do this, like they're used to it.
They're probably like years and years of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so they take your bag, they take anything you have on you, and they actually tell you, we're not going to take money, just buy flowers.
Oh
So
wow.
It's really cute.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, well, the flowers are expensive, but it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
that's how they get you.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, they're really nice. You know, it's kind of
Okay.
a gesture. So anyway, they take my stuff, I go and line up. So now this is where it gets like a bit crazy because there's like few different steps, but each one of them, you're basically treated like cattle.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like,
All right, next number 22. Huh?
yeah, but there is like a crazy security check when they like check, like search you, like check you, like your socks and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they
yeah.
take like it's kind of like airport security.
I get it, yeah.
But worse.
TSA level kind of
Yeah,
thing.
TSA level, exactly. And then you go into a window where they check the documents that you have. Oh, so on the email, on the application, it also doesn't really specify, like it says, bring documents that support your application.
Okay.
Very vague. It
Yeah.
says basically bring anything you think will help you.
Damn.
So it doesn't say, like, for example, bring your work contract or
Yeah.
like, your lease or bank statement.
And it can be digital copies.
No, you can bring papers. So
But I
you-
mean, like, can it be digital copies?
no, it
has
cannot
to be
because
paper.
your phones are turned off. So
Oh
we'll get to
my
that. They make
God.
sure your phones are
What is it,
turned
a
off.
comedy show?
Yeah, exactly.
They're
It's like
gonna-
fucking Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, exactly. He walks like, all right.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so you can't have your phone on you as well.
So you have to take your phone away.
Yeah, they take your phone away.
So they take your phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I don't remember if they took my phone or they made sure it's turned off.
Okay.
One of the two.
That is so hardcore, man.
I think if I remember correctly, yeah, I didn't have my phone at all.
Yeah. Okay.
But
okay.
either way, you don't have access
Yeah.
to it. That I remember for sure.
Got it.
You don't have access to your phone.
Yeah.
So anyway, you go, they check your documents, like whatever documents you brought,
Yeah.
they just look at it, they make sure it's like in order and whatever. Check the appointment, blah, blah, blah. You get another security, and then you get into the main hall. And the main hall, my idea of it was, as you said, an interrogation room, or at least like you sit down, you have an interview.
Yeah.
Nope.
Uh-oh.
So the U.S. consulate in Hong Kong is basically like a few lines. It's kind of like you're going on a ride in Disneyland.
Yeah,
So
just
like
waiting.
these like swingy lines.
Yeah. The zigzag.
Zigzag
yeah,
line, rather. But while you're doing that, people are interviewing next to you, standing by windows.
Oh.
See what I mean?
Okay.
So you're actually seeing the interviews.
Wow.
And because the officers are speaking through microphones,
Yeah, you can
you're
hear
actually, you can hear most of it.
Damn.
It's so weird. Because so people are just like, most people are in the zigzag line, are just silent, and like whoever is closer to the windows
Yeah.
are just like throwing like an ear, like just to see what they're talking
gonna
about.
ask. Yeah.
Yeah, but you also kind of get to see like, you know, the officers' facial expressions and stuff like that. You're not hearing everything clearly, but you kind of get a feeling of what it is. So I'm in the zigzag line now. I'm seeing that most people take at least 2 minutes. 2 to maybe 3 minutes. Actually, maximum 3 minutes. It's very short. And a lot of people I've seen like take maybe 30 seconds. It's crazy fast. And this is only most of it is B1, B2, which is considered tourist / business visa.
Yeah.
Or like conference or whatever. And some people are applying for like student visa and stuff. So like they're not taking that long. It's moving quite fast, but like I timed it to until my turn. It's about 20 minutes still. So I'm just kind of watching people, whatever. There's nothing else I can do.
Yeah.
And then when I was like in the final line, so now I can actually hear and see everything clearly. When I noticed a few things. Number one, a lot of people applying for the US visa do not speak English, which is quite funny.
Really poor English, right?
Yeah, or no English at all.
Oh,
So they actually
man.
have a translator right behind them. They just like wave them over.
Yeah.
And then because like I remember like a Chinese grandma.
I would have thought like of all the consulates, this is the one that's most unwelcoming of someone who doesn't speak English.
Exactly. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But then I think, I mean, I will probably get in trouble for this, but I think it's just a money grab. Because
Fair enough, yeah.
they're not rejecting them. What I'm saying is a money grab is that like, yeah, they like
The students, they'll go there.
yeah.
It's not my
Like, I
problem.
remember, not my problem. But also like I remember like an old Chinese grandma, and the guy like they open with like, why do you want to go to the US? And Chinese grandma basically gave no answer. Not even
And
in
you can't
Cantonese.
be. You have to be alone, right, by yourself.
Yes, you have to be
You
alone.
can't have your friend next to you explaining.
You can have I saw like if you have a family or some sort, they're all going same like
Okay.
there's like a couple and children and stuff. The grandma had nobody. I have no idea why she wanted to go
Why,
anyway.
yeah.
And he goes like, why do you want to go to the US? And she goes, huh?
Yeah.
And then he waves the Cantonese the translator over.
Yeah.
She asks her and she speaks in Cantonese and he goes approved. And then it's like she asked like one word. I'm sure she said like, you know,
must be
visit my
family.
son
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah, must be that, yeah.
And it's like approved. But I also realized like, okay, you're approving most of the locals. That's what I noticed. Approving most of the locals. The people are going for student visa,
Getting approved.
getting approved. And then the people who are foreigners are getting a little bit more questioned, approved. Almost none of, so there was like 2 or 3 brown people in front of me. None of them were approved. So
When you say brown, are you looking for more towards like India side? Or you looking
yeah,
more
people
towards,
who look like you and me basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right in the middle. Okay, got it.
So-
they were not approved.
No.
Oh,
No, so there were like 2
could you hear what they were talking about?
Well, I tried that with the one guy. I think he freaked out. I don't know what his deal was. Like he wasn't being shady, but I think he just got overwhelmed.
Okay.
Because he is like a young brown guy, and I remember all of his interview. He basically said like, "Where do you want to go?" And he said like, "Oh, I wanted to travel there or whatever." And he
Yeah.
goes like, he asked him about his job. I don't remember what his job was, but then he asked him when does he want to go, and that's when he freaked out.
Oh.
Yeah. He goes, whenever I get the visa, and the
Yeah.
guy goes like, yeah, you'll get it actually in like 2 days if you're
Are you gonna
accepted.
go- yeah.
He goes, then I will go in 2 days. The officer just looked at him and
You're
was
like, no.
yeah, that's not how this works.
Yeah. You get the visa, you get your trip planned out, everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't want somebody to spontaneously come. I will
So
go.
I'm like behind him just doing face palm.
Yeah.
And then I actually saw the rejection. It's kind of sad. He slides him a paper that says like, you can apply again with your circumstances change.
Oh, that's so polite.
Yeah, it's very polite.
Yeah.
And he just gives him like a little paper. And you actually have your passport on you, obviously. And so the way they do it, you give them the passport first. If you're rejected, they give it back to you with the paper. If you're accepted, they keep your passport so you can get the visa.
Yeah.
Right. So I saw him and I saw this moment that kind of made me sad. And then I'm like, okay, it's my turn. It's
Yeah.
going to come up.
All right, this is it.
This is it. So I walk up, friendly officer, like middle-aged white guy.
Oh, okay.
And he is like, obviously has my application on.
How thick was his American accent?
Pretty. I would say it's kind of like who did we have here? Kind of like John Buckman.
Oh,
like
okay,
my
okay.
boss. Yeah.
All right, okay, fair enough.
It's like it's a pretty standard American accent. Yeah.
Did he start with the howdy?
he actually goes. I think he said something like "salam" or whatever.
Oh.
Which will come to in a bit because
yeah,
he
dude, that happened to me as well at my gig. This guy was like, hey, salam alaikum. I was like, salam, but that's not really me. But
yeah,
okay, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
So
nice,
he
yeah.
opens actually with like salam or whatever, but he goes
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Egypt, huh?" So well, obviously he doesn't see many applicants from Egypt in
Yeah,
Hong
yeah.
Kong. So he was friendly, And I go, yeah, right. And he goes, oh, I actually served in Cairo in 2006. Like he was the visa consular guy.
Yeah.
Like more than 10 years
Did
ago.
you go like, how many did you kill?
What I did say is that I used to underage party there, which was like, that's a crazy opening.
Why would you do that, man?
Because that was the truth. Like we used to, like when you're underage, like American embassies, like parties are great.
Yeah.
Not that they are allowed, but like my friends would sneak me in.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah, we used to drink at the American embassy when I was like 14,
My
and he goes,
God.
huh?
Yeah, okay.
So, and he goes,
Okay.
he takes a deep breath, and he's like, all right. So and then he
Yeah.
gets on the interview. He asked me about my job. He asked me about like. So I had put Drew Freilich, who was a guest on the podcast before via Zoom, as my reference. And Drew's one of my best friends, and this is also genuinely true. I wanted to visit him because he has now a second kid who I've never met. So I put him as my reference. So he zooms in on my relationship with Drew.
Nice.
And he just asked a lot of questions about him, my relationship with him. And I said like, oh, you know, we met in Shanghai and he has a second kid and I want to see him. His first kid is an adopted kid. I was with him throughout the whole process. Now he has a biological kid that I want to see. Blah, blah, blah. And then he switches back to Shanghai and asks me more questions about like my life in Shanghai. Then he jumps to,
What he was asking was, did he seem fascinated or was he just doing his job?
well,
Did he kind of go like, oh, really? And then what happened? You know?
he was never really reactive in like an emotional way.
Oh, he was just like, everything's like,
Yeah,
okay.
but then he switched tactics.
Oh.
He did like the making you nervous thing because which I actually learned about a little bit just observing like my dad. Like my dad was a cop.
Yeah.
Like how they do interrogations, and it's like a technique rather when they try to make you think that they caught something and see your reaction.
To make you guys be like, what you got? What you got?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he would go on the screen and audibly goes, huh.
Ah.
Okay, please. Not reacting to my question, my
Yeah.
answer. There's no, like, it's just
Yeah,
silence.
yeah.
And he goes, interesting. But I also saw him just trying to, like, looking at
Random
me.
stuff. Yeah.
He would just, like try
your
to see, like,
reaction,
what
right?
my reaction is. The funny part is, I don't have my phone, so there is nothing for me to nervous scroll. I
Yeah.
was nervous. Not
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
did anything wrong, because it's
Yeah.
like a big
It's a big deal. This
application
guy's
thing.
like pressuring you. Yeah.
But the funny thing is that they took my phone. Actually, now I know for a fact that they took my phone away.
'cause you didn't have your phone at
Yeah,
the
because I
moment,
didn't
yeah.
have my phone. And if I did have my phone, I might look nervous because then
Yeah.
I would start like
Yeah,
flipping
looking-
through stuff or whatever. But all I had was the folder with some supporting documents
Yeah.
that I had. So there's nothing for me to be nervous about.
Yeah.
So I just like kept looking at him with like a blank face. And I make I sometimes if I'm nervous I make like a dumb smile.
Yeah.
And I'm like I remember not to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at him with like, all right, yeah,
Sure,
you can
dude.
all you want.
Yeah. I'm
It's
like,
nothing.
what did you find? Let me know. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he was like waiting for me to be like, huh, what is that? Like,
Yeah,
what did you
yeah.
find? Like,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
everything okay? I am at this point. I'm 12 minutes in. I am definitely the longest interview they have done so far. At least when I was there.
That probably must have been one of it is. Like, you probably have been trained. Like, when you have passed the 10-minute mark, get suspicious.
Yeah,
You know?
and also like my understanding, at least from what is happening, is that like it's probably going well, and he's just like waiting for me to
Something
just-
fuck up, yeah.
to give him a reason to reject me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so now it's became mind games. When I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna give him any reason to reject me.
Did you ever
It
consider-
seems like I'm doing well because obviously otherwise he would just reject me.
Did you ever consider that it would be so hilarious if he at one moment did the Curb Your Enthusiasm, stare at you in the eye, right, and press the button, it goes,
Yeah.
That'd be so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so now this
So-
is going on, he's trying to like,
Yeah,
get
he just
suspicious,
tries
yeah.
to like fuck with me a bit, and he goes like, okay, please wait. Like I would give him an answer. He asked me about like, I think I wrote like on the application, it says like, do you not have family in the US? And I don't.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, so you don't have any family members? I'm like, well, yeah, my brothers visited there or whatever, but like, yeah, never.
doesn't
I
live
don't know
there,
any immediate family there. He goes, okay, and then he would just like wait and start clicking.
Play a game of
And then,
Minesweeper,
yeah,
something like that,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally like again like a
guarantee,
curve.
yeah.
If you like flip the camera,
Yeah.
he's on solitaire.
Yeah, he's
and then
just
he was like,
okay, I've got a 7 of diamonds. I can
Yeah.
put it over here. All right, so tell me, your brother. Yeah.
yeah. On the application, they ask you about your travel history, like the last like 5 years, which I did. That was a lot of work. Like I have to go through my old
annoying as
passports.
hell, man, yeah.
And I did have my old passports on me, as like they do tell you bring your old passport, and that's when it got weird because he goes, oh, so you wrote that you went to Europe. I'm like, yeah. He's like, do you have the visa? I'm like, yeah. So I just show him the visa on my
Old passport.
old passport. Old passport is handwritten.
Handwritten. Yeah. And he's like, "Hi, das."
And well, he looked at it and like squinted a bit. He did not ask me. I could have given it to him, but I'm putting it through the window, like on the glass.
On the glass, yeah.
Yeah, and he just didn't ask to see it. And then he started laughing. He goes, I haven't seen one of these for so long because he's served in Cairo.
so
So
he
people
must have
used to
recognized-
apply.
yeah.
Yeah. So this is when I was like about to crack. I'm like, fuck, he's gonna like say, like, it's gonna be bad. For him, it was like a nostalgic moment.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, do you still have those? I'm like, well, yeah, obviously this is the old one, so that's expired. He's like, yeah, I know. It's so cool to see it again.
Oh my
And he
God.
actually, like, for the first time, like, had a big smile, and it was like a kind of like a human moment.
Yeah.
And he was, he was like very like cheered up suddenly. And then he asked me about the Australia visa, and then I showed it to him on the same passport, and just looked at it again. He goes, all right, well, you got it.
Oh.
And I'm like, and then for a second, like for a very split second, I'm like, okay, if I react, this is my brain working as fast as I can.
Don't be like, oh, really? Huh? Yeah.
Exactly. So I said like, and my brain like went into like, how do I close this?
Yeah.
In a way that does not freak him out. He goes, okay, wait.
Yeah. Your reaction was a little
So
bit
if I go
excited,
like, exactly, if I'm too excited, and if I go like, also like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
you're like, "Pff, whatever,
Yeah, and he would be
don't-"
like, what a douche. And then he'd be like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Again. So I just opted like, I
Dude,
just
this
went.
is like you're trying to like talk to a girl.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're trying to
What
feel it
is
out.
the right answer?
And like you're like, oh, I'd like to go out with you. She's like, you know what? Let's go out. You can't be all like, oh my God, really? You would
Right.
go out with me?
That's
But you can't be like, "Pff, whatever.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's right.
Yeah.
So I just went with, all right, sweet. And then I just walked away.
Nice.
Genuinely thinking that he's gonna be like, wait.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
just
yeah.
like walked away kind of slowly.
Yeah.
Because again, I didn't want to run away too fast. He'd be
can't,
like,
yeah.
what is this fucker doing?
Yeah, where'd you-
And he has my passport, obviously. So I'm like, okay, if he does give me my passport back, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I'm walking away, he has my passport. He can't
Yeah.
like not
can't
give me
throw
the
it at you.
visa.
Yeah.
Exactly. Reverse
It's
it.
like one of those things that you know when like in TV shows the FBI or something have to like give you a subpoena or something.
Yeah.
Like don't give it to me. Don't touch me. He's gonna give it to you. You're like, hey, you give it to me.
Don't touch it. You still have the passport. Still have the-
I know. Yeah. The door closed. You're like, ah.
Yeah, so I go, sweet, and I just walk away, and then that's it.
My
So I walk out,
God.
and then they say on the application that the standard processing time for the US visa, again, it's one of these things, very hard to get, but very easy to actually get like printed on your passport. It's like 2 to 3 business days. I'm like, okay, so there is like an online like tracking thing. It's and they say after 10 working days, if you don't hear back from us, you should call us. 10 working days pass by, I don't hear back from them.
Oh.
Yeah, you think the story is over. It's not.
Oh damn, dude! Turns out like, the guy doesn't even work there.
Yeah, it's not a US visa
This is like some
application.
random,
I go
like-
back and it's a fish market.
yeah, exactly. Oh.
So 10 days go by. Then 10 working days go by. Everyone who I talk to who have applied, from like my buddy in Singapore, Egyptian guy as well, is like, yeah, I got it over the week, like 3 days or whatever.
Yeah.
Mine is just not coming through.
Oh man.
So 10 working days, which is 2 weeks, I call, and then I get like actually the lady who goes, howdy, partner.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like super
it's probably,
southern.
it's probably like one of those call centers that
Yeah.
we're told like, all right, okay, what we're expecting over here.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very cool actually to
That's
like,
nice, yeah.
because I can tell she's in the US. She's not in like Pakistan or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. It's like a legit kind of like, howdy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the partner, can I help you?
And she goes like, she called me kid or something. It was
Ah,
kind of
yeah.
cute too.
Oh, that's
like,
so-
how can, how
probably
can I
one
help
of
you,
those-
son?
Yeah. All right, son. So love, I'm gonna give you.
Yeah.
one of those.
It was very cool.
Nice.
But anyway, she goes like, and then she gives me the standard answer. She's like, yeah, okay, well, it's in process, so it's nothing you can do about it.
Still in process. Okay,
Still in
yeah.
process. And I'm like, but it said I could call you. She's like, yeah, you called.
Yeah.
I'm telling you it's
I'm
in
telling-
process.
yeah, so-
She wasn't mad. She was like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is just what it is. So goodbye, I guess.
Wow.
Do you want to fill in the questionnaire? I'm like, no.
Man, that's so weird.
Yeah, so now she goes like, I'm like, should I call again after like another 10 days, or am I just waiting
Yeah.
forever? She goes, well, if you really want your passport back to travel, we have a process, but then, it might affect, like, technically you can't get it back to travel. Bring it back to us and we'll give you the visa because you are approved.
Yeah.
But she's like, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
If you're not going to travel. Just
Yeah.
wait.
Yeehaw, like that. Right?
Exactly. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. Eventually, 4th of February, I think, is that, like, I applied the 4th of January. I remember
Yeah.
that because the date was there the whole
Right
time.
there.
4th of February, I get an email that says my passport is ready for pickup. A month later.
Dude,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So I had picked like the SF whatever thing
just
in
the
one
free thing.
try
Yeah.
to pick it up because it's the free one. Otherwise,
Yeah,
they send it to you.
No, not happening, man.
Yeah,
I'll go
exactly.
pick it up. It's fine.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. And I go and pick it up, and I still like, I'm looking at the visa. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I got, like, there's part of my brain that
Yeah,
I'm like,
this is not real.
This is not real.
hasn't
Like,
registered
there's no
yet, yeah.
fucking way.
Yeah.
I actually got this done.
Ah.
Because for the longest time, as I said, like, also people have been following me on my stories for years. They think, and I'm sure, like, you're giving me the same face, like something wrong is gonna happen.
Yeah.
'Cause I
We're
don't-
expecting it.
Everyone is expecting, especially when it comes to travel and
the
visas
default
and stuff.
now. Yeah.
It's the default. So I'm looking at it. I'm in the same mentality. I'm like, yeah, I think like
I'm sure they misspell something or the numbers.
misspelled something.
Yeah.
You know, I went into like full on conspiracy as well. Like they have 2 asterisks under the
the
picture.
number. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's it. They're gonna like,
yeah, that's like a double check.
yeah. So I looked it
Yeah.
up online. A lot of people are paranoid, just like me. And so they have, some people have 1 star, some people have 2, some people have 3.
Yeah.
And the US visa said multiple times it does not mean anything, and we were still.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
If it doesn't mean anything, why put it there? You know?
Yeah, it says like computer generated stuff. And if you are close, if you work for the US government and you're listening to us, please let us know if
Yeah.
we're wrong. Apparently, the official answer is it's a computer generated bullshit.
Because I mean, according to what I know, stars and stripes and all that stuff is important to Americans. So
Yeah,
if you put
exactly.
a star in there, like it's got to mean something.
Yeah, and especially when you put like, you know, when you're reading something and they put like 1 asterisk.
Actually, you're like, okay, it means something. There's a note.
Exactly,
Yeah,
it's
there's
a note.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So this is
Footnote
a
or
note
something,
to
yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
And maybe whenever I go, you'll hear, you know, the it will. Listen, what I'm expecting is that something will go wrong.
Sure, yeah,
At some
when-
point,
when you get
not
there.
even like, you know, for me, like my life, but it's like regarding the visa itself. So I'm still expecting.
You're
something-
gonna like, you know what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Everything's gonna go smooth. You're gonna get a problem in somewhere you would least expect it.
Yes.
I mean, like for example, the one tray you use at the TSA
Yeah.
is that one tray that like anything that goes in here, like maybe the guy before somehow had like a pack of cocaine,
Yeah.
and like spilled on the tray. They cleaned it up, but they didn't clean
Yeah.
it properly, and now
Yeah.
now whatever you put on there has that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like, oh, what's this going on? The dog sniffing. And you're like, what the hell,
Yeah.
man? Right? And then unfortunately, you have to chuck your passport on the box on the basket as well.
Yeah.
And the cocaine's coming your passport, and now the thing is a fake passport.
Right.
And then like, you have to go back to your old passport.
Yeah.
And they're like, but the old
Which is
passport's
handwritten.
handwritten. They're like, it's not happening. And they call the guy who used to serve in Cairo to fly all the way to the States,
Yeah.
waiting 16 hours.
Why
for them
did
to
you
show
approve
up.
this idiot?
Exactly, yeah. Now he's in trouble.
Yeah.
He's looking at you like, you piece of shit. I was nice to you, man. Do you see how many...
I let you party underage man.
Exactly, yeah, right? I mean, how many fucking brown guys did I reject, man?
Yeah.
I let you and you screwed me over. I
Yeah.
fly all the way here on a red-eye economy plane.
Yeah.
Oh my God, right? So then that's going to happen. You'll be over there, right? And then they're going to look at you and finally they're going to be like, all right, sir, you can go.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to leave there. After you leave there, you walk out, you get into like a taxi or whatever, and you find you don't have US dollars. Right?
I have Hong Kong dollars.
You have Hong
yeah.
Kong dollars, right? And so like you tell the guy like, dude, trust me, it's pegged, man. It's
Yeah.
1 to 7.8. I'll give
Yeah.
you 1 to 8. I'll give you 1 to 10, dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna earn. He's like, no, man, I don't trust no shit like this. It's
like Kevin Hart is
exactly.
driving.
Yeah. All right. You get that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and then like he's losing his mind, right? And then you tell the guy like, look, I tell you what, drive me to the hotel.
Yeah.
And I will go talk to the hotel. I'll try to somehow use like some credit or whatever I have with
Yeah.
them to get you back, right? Now the guy comes to the hotel, goes to the concierge, right? You're talking to the concierge. Concierge is like, the only thing we can do, sir, is to give him your room.
Right.
So now he's got your room.
And I'm a taxi driver.
Yeah, you're a taxi driver, but then you're homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're homeless sleeping in the taxi.
Yeah.
Now you're in the taxi and you're sleeping in the front row and someone gets in the taxi and you're like, dude, I'm not a driver. They're like, bitch, you're in the taxi.
Yeah.
Drive the taxi. Right? And you're like, huh? What? And you start driving.
Yeah.
You don't know your way. You're messing it up completely. And then finally, what happens is you get pulled over.
Yeah.
And the cop turns out to be the brother of the guy that you serve in Cairo. And he's like, dude, my brother's been talking about this guy.
Yeah.
And you seem like the other type of guy. Are you the guy?
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, I'm the guy.
I'm the guy.
Yeah. And his brother is like, dude, I've been waiting to punk my brother all these years.
Yeah.
You and me, we're going to do something awesome. And then you're going to do some crazy stuff like
Yeah.
that. And he thinks it's all cool, right?
Yeah.
You do all that stuff. Turns out the guy doesn't understand what the word punk means.
Right.
He actually thought he was trying to like punk as in like punk hairstyle.
Right.
Right. So now he's doing some weird shit, and you're like, "What is going on, man?"
Yeah.
And then your whole America trip finishes. You leave. You come back to Hong Kong. right? And you come back to Hong Kong, and you're like, hold on a second. I wasted all that energy.
Yeah.
Went to the US, did all this shit, didn't really do anything that I know.
Yeah.
Came back, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? And then you look at the visa, like, oh, you need to apply for a new one. I give up, dude.
You just wrote a perfect sketch.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And then,
I thought I had 5 years. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You see the 2 stars?
Yeah, exactly. The 2 times, that means you only get 1 time.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you apply, you go back to the flower shop. They're like, did the Cairo guy mess you?
Yeah.
You're like, God damn it. Is this what it is? They're like, yeah, man.
Aston Kutcher shows up at the end. You've all been punked.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God.
Well,
It's gonna happen,
yeah.
man.
Well, here's a happy story for once from my side. If you are in the US and you want to give me travel tips, I set up a Google alert. Turns out flights from the US are pretty expensive, actually.
Dude, flights everywhere are expensive now.
Yeah.
Man.
So I set up a Google alert. I don't know when I will go, but I want to go. So if you are in the US, we do have I see the demographic.
Yeah. The
of
audience.
our
Does have
audience.
some US.
Yeah, we have a lot of US listeners actually. So do get in touch and let me know where I should visit.
If you served in Cairo before, let
if
us
you've
know.
served in Cairo,
Right?
let us know. If you have seen me underage drinking, don't let us know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and do let me know when are good places to visit. Where are the good times to visit as well? It is cool to kind of like get an insider, like local.
Yeah. They'll
like
really
the
know
best
where
time,
to go. Yeah.
best time of the year and where to go and stuff. So, and hopefully, if I'm in your state, we can meet up. Thank you, everybody, for listening to my amazing story. And come next week for my TED Talk.
And America, fuck yeah!
America, fuck yeah!